So here's a question that we get a lot, and I think we've touched on it over the course of time, but I think it's a good one and it's worthy to of discussion. So the topic here is buy now and rent. So Deborah from Germantown says we're planning to move to the Big Island of Hawaii within 2 years. Should we buy now and rent out the house condo until we move there? Hint, hint, Judy. What do you think of that one? Dylan, what's your take on that? And then we'll go to Scott.
Yeah, absolutely not. You should buy as soon as possible. I just one of my clients and friends just dropped off my truck. He was borrowing it, and he bought his house for 560 2 years ago, and the house next door sold for almost a million, like a 990 or something like that. So if that's not an illustration of what can happen in a couple of years, and then I mean it's a dime a dozen, right? I mean he's not unique. I mean that's pretty much everybody. I saw a stat that in the last 6 months, the cost to buy with a 2% interest rate increase has gone up 50%. Like your cost to buy a home in America has gone up 50% in the last 6 months with appreciation plus the interest rate increase.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean we're a broken record. We've been talking about this for 2 years now. I mean the cost of waiting to buy is significant, and so unless you're an extreme pessimist and you really believe something terrible is going to happen, and why would anybody want to believe that? Then maybe hedge your bets and wait. But anybody who's waited, and it's heartbreaking. I have plenty of people who have waited and are totally out of it. They just can't do it anymore. So, yeah, it's definitely not gonna. I would not recommend waiting.
Yeah, those who have waited have really kind of missed out, and there were a bunch of people who were waiting because they thought there was going to be a COVID crash. And thank you, Judy. I kind of gave you the lead, and you took it. Thank you, Judy. Judy, that's exactly what we are doing. The rent covers the payment, and the property manager. Call Dylan. But that's what Judy did. Thank you, Judy. It was a great example. That's exactly what the process was. Scott, what's your what do you want to add to what Dylan has already said?
Yeah, I mean, I talked about it just a few minutes ago, and we've talked about this. It's like, it goes back to inflation, right? And we anticipate interest rates to continue to rise. The historic average on interest rates for the 30-year fixed mortgage is 8%, and we're at like 5.5% right now. We were just at 2.5 for 2.75 at the bottom of during that COVID timeframe. So, each scenario is different. We can talk about the market. We can't really talk about that specific scenario because there are some components that we should consider. If you're planning on holding it for 2 years, okay, that's there's a little more risky time frame. Interest rates, like we said, are going to eat into the appreciation component. So, will that appreciation be there if you were to exit in 2 years? But this looks more like a long-term hold. If you are in for the long term, yes, the sooner you get in, the better. Like I said, we're in an inflationary period. Building material cost more. Your bananas, your groceries, your gas, everything's gone up, and it's anticipated to continue to go up, which means your cost on your housing is going up. So do you want to get it in at the more affordable price point, today, or wait and it'll cost you more? And at least over 2 years, you can have someone who's either supplementing part of that mortgage or covering the whole thing, depending on how much you're bringing in.
Yeah, and there's no question that rents are on their way up. They're definitely a trailing indicator, and we've had all this inflationary pressure. There's no question that this is going to be just the beginning. So, Deborah, I think hopefully that go ahead.
I just got an email from my property manager buddy with all his new rental listings, and a decent three bed 2 bath house in Kona is $4,000 plus a month, right? And that's an $800,000 mortgage payment pretty much. So to put that into perspective, I mean, you can buy a house for 6, 7, 8, 900,000 and pretty much cover it with rents over the short term. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense to lock in that mortgage payment, lock in that price, and then just have it covered with rents until you're ready for it.
I mean, I think of the folks who have done this, like Judy, for example, and others, if you're able to do it, and you could put enough down to kind of give yourself either a break even or a slight positive or whatever, you're you're kind of set. You're sort of isolated. You're in the market. No matter what's going to happen with the market, you're set. And when you're ready to finally make that move to Hawaii, you can kind of move right in, and the home is there, as opposed to kind of waiting. So yeah, definitely.
And if you're concerned about interest rates, right? It's possible interest rates go down in the future. So you buy now, a year from now, or 2 years from now, you're ready to make the move. And if interest rates go down a point or two or a point and a half or whatever, just refinance and get that new interest rate. So yeah, interest rates are not forever either way. So you
Either
don't,
way, either
yeah.
way, and if they go down, you could always refinance. There's been a lot of folks who have done that. Yeah, excellent.